Alrighty, y'all. This is my Ollie's 2000 F250. It's got the 7.3 liter Power Stroke turbo diesel in it. We got some new headlights from Spyder Auto. See if I can show them to you here quick. She got these for Christmas, so we're gonna get these put in for her. Let's get these ones pulled out. So these Fords have a clip back in here. If you can see that one right there below my finger right here. Those will pull up. Same thing right there. And then they're actually two separate assemblies here and here. So we'll get this one pulled out. And then we'll get this lower one pulled out. It should be just a couple screws down here underneath the light. Actually, a little better view. And then you should be able to should be able to get this piece off, or at least pulled back, and then you can get in here behind this clip, push that clip off, and I was actually wrong. There's not a third, oh, there's camera's caught. There's not a third clip back down in here. It's actually this adjuster screw that's right here. This one here. If you adjust it all the way down, it will allow you to pull that headlight out. And you can set that aside. And there should be just two bolts or screws on the bottom side of these lights that we should be able to take out and pull the lights off. Looks like they're Phillips screws. Alrighty, so I went ahead and marked it. You got to cut this tab off. I think you got to cut a little bit of this one off, and you have to trim out a little bit of this hole. But I'm going to start with cutting this one off, test fit, and then we'll go from there. You always want to make sure you try and do as many test fits and keep everything as clean as possible. See if I can find you guys a little better spot to be able to actually see what's going on here. You guys might be able to actually see that. Alright, right here you've got our little Dremel going with a little cutoff wheel. We're going to go ahead and cut that piece off. Light and try and test fit it. Not gonna worry about trying to plug everything in and do all that crap again. Got to move you guys back up over here. So it does look like we're gonna have to take this box off too. And voila, she fits in there. She's got pretty good gaps. I mean, obviously it's not fully in there yet, but we'll go ahead and pull this back out, and then we can start working on the wiring and getting that tight. So we have our multimeter here set up for reading anything up to 20 volts. This is just a Harbor Freight cheapie, but should do the job. We're going to put our black lead on the ground of our batteries since we can reach it right there. And we were trying to figure out which wire is our power wire and which one is our ground. We got power there at our turn signal. And now we have power there at our parking light. Should have nothing on this one. So our brown wire here is our power wire, our black wire is our ground wire. Let me go ahead and turn those lights off now. So the back of these lights have these two wires that come off we talked about earlier. Your white is going to be your power, your black is going to be your ground. It's a little bit weird because it's not the same as residential. So if you're familiar with residential, it might throw you off a little bit. But yeah. I'm going to let this actually kind of... I'm going to set my rag down here so I don't scratch the front of these nice new headlights. But I can prop this up right here. So that I can actually kind of work on it. So this is what I'm going to be using. We have these heat shrink, and then we have these soldered kind of like butt splices. You basically put your wire in there, and then this little silver piece, when you heat it up, will that's actually solder, so it'll solder the joint together. It'll be a nice strong connection. Let's find the size that we need for these wires. Alright, so it looks like we can use a red. And I'm going to take, shouldn't need it with these because they're kind of got heat shrink on them already, but I'm going to take and slide a piece of heat shrink over the wire anyway, and that will just help me really make sure that we don't have any issues with water or dirt or dust getting in there and causing a bunch of issues. So since I have more wire here than I do on the actual truck, I'm going to slide my heat shrink on, slide it all the way down, get that thing out of the way. I'm going to slide my connector on, out of the way. And what I like to do is strip these back far enough that you can kind of twist them together side by side. Going to slide our connection down. I don't know if you guys are actually able to even see this. Not particularly. Let me try and my hands are going to be in the way no matter what I do, so I'm going to slide both wires in, try and line them up so they're both in that soldered area. Ow! Don't burn yourself. Kind of just heat up that heat shrink around it, and you can see that solder starts heating up, and bam, you have a nice solid connection there. I'm gonna go ahead and slide my heat shrink down. Second time I burned that hen this week. The last time I caught it on fire though. We're going to overlap those wires. So they get nice and soldered together. Make sure they're overlapped. See if I can show you that really quick. GoPro's not wanting to focus on that, but the wires overlap in there. Kind of like this. So you got one wire here and this is your other wire, and that solder would be right around the middle of them. Let me go ahead and solder that one on. Get that soldered in. And we'll slide our heat shrink over. Let our solder cool down for a second. Nice strong connection in there. Heat shrink, and then we can heat shrink over that, and we should have a nice, very nice connection there. And real quick, before we go ahead and throw our headlight back in, I'm going to take all of my stuff in the truck and turn it on, make sure everything works proper. That's much better. So it looks like you got to trim up the edge of the hole for the turn signal a little bit, and then everything should drop right in. And then we just got to take these clips, kind of a pain in the ass, and try and get them back in without dropping them and losing them. Alrighty, here they are. Everything's in. Got my phone out of there. Double check there's no tools, and then close that hood up. Obviously there's still a little bit of dust and stuff on there, but there's a massive difference in the headlights. These look much better. Let me turn them on really quickly. There's my running lights. I'm gonna throw my hazards on so you can see the turn signals. Turn signals, running lights, the halos are now lit up. As well as these little marker lights right here on the side. They light up as well. Not that they really do much, but go ahead and go headlights. They look a lot better, a lot more clear and able to see out of them. And we'll go ahead and turn the high beams on. Or I'm sorry, turn the high beams off. There's your low beams. And you can switch these bulbs out in there. I don't know how they're gonna be tonight. We'll have to see. We might switch them out for some LEDs. But it's pretty easy to install. Much easier than I thought they were gonna be.